Hello, y'all. It is Monday morning. We are on our way to feed the birds right now, and I kind of just wanted to talk about neurodivergence in the workplace and my kind of like experience with it, and like what I'm doing and how online coaching and has kind of like changed my life, and I just like love all my clients to death. Also, if you're new here, welcome to Tism Pump YouTube, y'all, where we discuss my experiences with autism, mental health, addiction recovery, and becoming a baby bodybuilder.
I'ma keep winning, winning. I'ma keep winning, winning. Ooh. I'ma keep winning, winning. You can try to save yourself, but you only gon' play yourself. You can try to save yourself, but you only gon' play yourself. You can try to save yourself, but you only gon' play yourself. You can try to save yourself.
So, I've been waking up in the mornings, like it's so crazy, with this like insane feeling of gratitude, just like extreme gratitude for where I'm at in my life. And I was talking with my mom the other day, and I might have mentioned this in a previous YouTube video, but she was talking to me and she was like, I'm so proud of you. You have literally made a job out of nothing, and like you are doing so well. And I just thought it's so interesting because I'm working now more than I've ever worked and getting paid less than I've ever been paid in a job before, really. And I'm so happy. Like with content creation and with online coaching. With content creation, I make no money, and there's like 40 to 50 hours per week. And online coaching is like 10 to 20 hours per week, I would say. And that's what I do get paid for. But I don't know, it's just different. Like I have said it before, I have always fucking despised the idea of content creation. And now it's become like an autistic special interest. And I just couldn't imagine doing anything else, but more so I couldn't imagine doing anything other than online coaching. And what happened is I've always had a really difficult time holding down jobs. What I realized is that this world is just not built for people who are neurodivergent. Like, it's just not. This is pure ADHD. Oh yeah, being neurodivergent in the workplace. So I've had lots of different jobs throughout my life. I've been like a cook. I've been like back of house, like doing dishwashing. I've done front of house serving and bartending. As I've progressed through my sobriety and learned about my autism, I realized why I was so unsuccessful in those workplaces. And I worked in a workplace before for a couple years called Zola's, and it's in Bell's Corners, like in Ottawa. And I loved it for the first little bit. And then it became a very kind of like toxic workplace, and I started having like a really bad like anxiety attacks about going into work. And I just had to like remove myself from that scenario. Like it wasn't anything that I could do. I was there for like 2 years and it just was so fucking toxic. So I left. And then a few months later, I started working at a bar downtown, which is no longer a place. It's called Hooley's. They also had like a sister place called Umbrella Bar, and in the bottom of Hooley's was like a comedy club called Yuck Yucks, and I was working there. I had no idea. First of all, it was really hard on me because of the sobriety aspect, because this was a whole different version of the service industry that I've never worked at before, which was like the bar to club scene for Hooley's. And holy shit, it was busy as fuck. Like it was busy as fuck and it was loud as fuck. And I would like just have what I didn't realize to be like complete shutdowns, like autistic shutdowns or meltdowns, because it was like so fucking noisy and I couldn't deal with the noise. And while I was working there, I literally was like so fucking deeply unwell that I was suicidal, and then I had to just pull a little stint in the old psych ward, you know? 2019 psych ward, babe. And then when I got out, I tried to work again, and it just wasn't a thing. And like I've had a hard time working my whole life, but I've always been a really hard worker. And every time I've done a job, I've done it to like 120% of my ability. Then I went to school and during 2018 to 2021, I went to school. This is kind of an all over the place video, but sucks to suck, whatever. If you're watching, you like me, I don't know what to tell you. And when I graduated school, it took a hot minute, but I finally got a job at a place called Relish. And I loved that job. I got it. There was like a few other jobs in between that, but Relish, I was there for like 9 or 10 months, and I got it right as I moved back to Ottawa from Ecuador and then previously Mexico. And I was there for like 10 months, and it was my first work from home job. And it was great because guess what, bitch? I could control the lighting, I could control the sounds, I could control, I was able to control everything. There were meetings every single morning, but it was just 45 minutes of meetings, and then other than that, for the most part, it was just like me working on my own. And I thrived in that environment, and it was just amazing, and I was so happy. And then something happened. There were basically what happened is there were instances of people who felt like token employees, and I had brought it up to, I guess, management. Wasn't taken very well. I had brought up a few things to management, and then one day I had brought up the fact that, because one of my coworkers who's Black came to me, and she was like, hey dude, I know you because I was at the time very active on LinkedIn. And I talked a lot about disability accommodations and anti-racism. Basically, she came to me and she was like, girl, it's fucking February 6th. Our company has not done shit for Black History Month yet. Do you know what the fuck is going on with that? And I was like, no, that's kind of not okay. So I brought it up to management, wasn't taken very well. And then I brought it up to management again 2 days later. And to my superior. And she was like, oh, who's this person about? I would urge them to go to management to say something. And I was like, why are we going to make a marginalized person risk their fucking job to bring up something to management that should have been talked about already? Why is this happening? And they're like, oh yeah, we're gonna do something for Black History Month, don't worry about it. And I was like, okay, well, it's a weekend, bitch. They were like, we're figuring out what to do. I'm like, okay, make it make sense. So after I'd brought it up a second time, the next day I got put on a performance improvement plan. Basically, they said all this shit that had never been an issue. I had gotten a raise just a month prior. I had never had any issues, never anyone said anything bad about the quality of my work. I had gotten a lumpectomy, so the previous week I was a little slow because I had a lumpectomy. I went to work 2 days later, and literally I took 2 fucking days off work after the lumpectomy, went to work, and then I had an infection, so I was in a lot of pain, and I was working without pain meds. Anyway, and my boss was like, okay, you need to kind of pick up the pace, girl. And I was like, okay, so I picked up the pace. Then that's it. Then I got put on a performance improvement plan, and I started to feel very isolated, and things kind of just changed for me there. So I had to leave that workplace. I lived off of my savings for a hot minute, for a good 5 months. And then finally I got a job at Anytime Fitness. Fuck you, Anytime Fitness. Anyway, so half the time I was supposed to be working at corporate, and then half the time I was supposed to be working in the gym. And when I was working in the gym, although it was hard because it's in person and I had to mask a lot, if you don't know what masking is, it's something that people who are neurodivergent do, which is basically something to appear or come off as normal. So they suppress things about them that are neurodivergent, like tics or reacting certain ways or stimming, shit that they just try to suppress to just try to come off normal. And although the working in person was hard, I felt like I had a lot of support at that job. The working in person at the office was really fucking challenging because, bitch, basically, there was so much shit going on at that fucking office. They were placing bets, it was loud as fuck, they were playing fucking games, and it was just a really, it was just a boys' club. And I realized that I would be a lot more successful if I just worked from home during the days where I was supposed to be doing graphic design. And because it was fucking noisy as fuck. People were loud as fuck, and it was just really, really, really hard. The lights were really bright. I couldn't deal with it. And there was a day where I just went non-verbal, bitch, because I couldn't fucking deal with it. And I just I just couldn't speak because I was so fucking overwhelmed. I was crying in the bathroom and shit. So then I was like, guys, and by the way, just so you know, it's illegal for employers to not accommodate people who are disabled in the workplace, as long as it doesn't like fuck over the employer majorly. So I went into a meeting with them and I was like, bestie, here's the situation. I just need to be accommodated, and I need my disability to be accommodated. I'm fine with working in person at the gym, but when it comes to graphic design, I would really like to be accommodated, and I would like to work from home. That way I can control everything. I can control the lights. And basically they told me to fuck off, and they fired me. And I was like, am I being fired? And they were like, no, you're choosing to leave. And it's funny because I tried to work that morning from home and I lost access to like my files, and I was like, okay, well, I'm not fired, but I don't have access to the files. Make it make sense. Before that had happened, I had realized that I really wanted to do online coaching, and I was planning on taking either like NASM or the other one, I forget what it was, a few months down the road after I had secured a permanent position at the job where I was working at any time. And then I would get some online clients and then eventually quit. I got fired, and I remember I left work and I left the meeting, I guess, where they fired me, and I was crying, and I called my mom and I was like, you know what, they did me a huge fucking favor. I know they did me a huge favor. So what I did, I went online and then I contacted all the people that I knew that were like successful online fitness coaches, and every single one of them said the exact same thing to me. They were like, because I was like, which course should I take? And they were like, honestly, the piece of paper is nice, course doesn't really matter. And one person in particular who I spoke with, who is a very successful online coach, I had asked him, I was like, listen, what do I take? And he was like, fuck the courses. He was like, there are 3 books that you need. Buy these books, read them, and you'll be good to go, and you'll learn way more than you'll ever learn from the program. So that's what I did. And then I was scared as fuck, and I launched online coaching. And let me tell you, the first day of launching online coaching was frightening. So since I started online coaching, I've had people that have like come for me for not having NASM or for not being like a certified PT. And one girl online kind of bullied me into getting it. So I started doing it. And keep in mind, I had asked one of the people who was very successful at online fitness coaching, and I was like, what should I take? And he was like, the problem with some of these things is they're so fucking outdated that you need to lie on the exam in order to pass. And I started taking the program, and I was going through the information, and I was like, my God, this shit is outdated. Like, so I returned it, and I was like, you know what? People care about results, but they also care about coaches that give a fuck about them. The horror stories that I've heard about online coaching are absolutely insane. Like, people paying a bunch of money to coaches and never fucking hearing from them again. Coaches putting people on like 1,200 a day diets when they're literally like 250 pounds. Like, just shit where it's very obvious and it's very evident that people give a fuck about the bottom line, people care about the money, and they don't actually care about the people, and they just want results super quick so that they can be like, here we go, this person lost this amount of weight in this amount of time. I'm very selective about my clients. This video is so fucking all over the place, and I'm so sorry, but you know what? It's what you signed up for if you're watching it. I don't know what to tell you. I'm very selective when it comes to my clients. And there's a reason for that, because I love what I do. And every time I interact with a client, I'm so happy. Like, some of my clients like to do weekly check-ins through phone call, and some of them like to do weekly check-ins through text. And I'm good with either, but a lot of my clients talk to me either on like pretty much on a daily basis. Some of them don't talk to me as often, and that's okay. Whatever works for each of them. But every time I get a text from them, or like every time I have a call with them, it just like fucking uplifts me. And I'm very selective because I like who I take on, and I relate to their stories. A lot of them have struggles with disordered eating. A lot of them have issues with BPD. All of them are neurodivergent. They're all like either ADHD, autistic, or both. So like I relate to them really well. And the thing about online coaching is that I know like 1% of what I need to know. But I'm a fucking learner, and I like learning, and I like reading, and fitness and nutrition have become a special interest. I'm also just like actually interested in helping people. And I just feel such insane gratitude for my clients. Like, not me fucking crying right now or tearing up. I paid my rent this month, and I have my credit card paid off, and I'm doing work that like is meaningful to me. And I remember my first client, Carrie, shout out to you, Carrie, if you're watching this. I highly doubt you are, and I'm not going to name any of my other clients by name because I know Carrie is like comfortable with her name being used online and her photos being used online, which is why I'm using her name. But Carrie was my first client, and she signed up with me, paid in full, 6 months. Paid in full. When we were first on our call, I told her, I'm like, listen, I don't have any PT certification. Like, I just know what I know. And the thing is that if you ask me something and I don't know the answer, I'll be honest, I'll tell you I don't know. And then I'll come back to you. Like, I'll do research, I'll come back to you and I'll have an answer for you. And she was like, I don't give a shit. And we've been working together and she's just amazing. All of my clients are amazing and they're all just like really inspirational. And they all have their own stories of why they're doing what they're doing. And they've all, like me, just overcome these insane fucking circumstances. And it's also cool because it's weird. Like, I genuinely feel more connected to my clients than I do to any of my friends. And I'm okay saying that because I know none of my friends watch my YouTube, so I don't give a fuck. But also, like, I love my friends and I love spending time with them, but I connected with my clients on such a deep level about their personal lives and my personal life. And I think that with a lot of friends, and as I've been navigating new friendships, I try to not get too heavy into my own deep shit because I don't want to put them in a position, which I've done to people before, where I'm just overwhelming them with my issues. Every time I come off a client call, I just feel so energized and so uplifted and just like motivated. And I feel nothing but extreme gratitude. Like, I truly love what I do. And I feel like it was what I was meant to do my whole life. And just getting the opportunity to do this has just been like the coolest fucking experience of my life. Because I like to do things sustainably. And I say that to all of my clients because some of them come on, and because of how the fitness and nutrition industry works, a lot of people have really unrealistic expectations of how long it takes to do something. And what I say to people is that my goal is to help you get closer to your dream physique. The reason why I say this is because it takes not weeks, not months, but years to get to where you want to be, especially if your goal is like building muscle. The reason why I say get closer to is because I don't want clients for a long time. Like, I don't want to have a client for a year. And although it would be financially beneficial to me to have a client for a year, to me it means that I'm not doing my job. That being said, there's a difference between bodybuilding coaching and lifestyle coaching. With bodybuilding coaching, you need a coach all the time. With lifestyle coaching, my goal is to basically help educate, inform, and like inspire and motivate people and answer their questions, educate them, and give them the tools that they need to succeed on their own. The coolest thing that I did not really, I guess, predict on this journey was, and again, like all of my clients, I've had them for like under 2 months. So there have not been any like major body transformations because, as I said, I like to do things sustainably and slowly. But the transformation that I've seen in my clients and their confidence and like mental health improving has just been like so fucking revolutionary because I have struggled my whole life with mental health issues and I still struggle so fucking much. But one thing that has like actually truly helped heal me and save my life is fitness. And I really started to improve my mental health when I started taking nutrition a lot more seriously. You know, people talk all the time about whole foods and how beneficial they are. And like, the thing is not many people eat just whole foods. Like, pretty much everything, a lot of the things that we eat are processed. There's a difference though between processed and ultra processed. I find that when I'm on a less ultra processed meal plan, that's when I'm most effective. But it's interesting because my clients, when they started, like in particular Carrie, when she's eating less ultra processed foods, she's like, wow, I feel so good. I have all this energy and like mentally I'm doing better. I'm feeling better. It's just so fucking cool. Like, I don't even know. I'm sorry that this video is just so all over the place, but I just, as someone who has struggled throughout their whole life to keep a fucking job, has dealt with mental health issues for 20 years, since I was 9, and who has, like, unknowingly, up until a couple years ago, dealt with autism throughout their whole life. I have struggled hard. And to be in a position where I've been waking up every day and just feeling this insane feeling of gratitude is just something that I never thought I'd get to. Like, I never thought I would get to this point where I feel fucking grateful to be alive. And, like, the cool thing about this job is it enables me to just do whatever. Like, I wake up most mornings and I go for walks in the forest to feed the birds, because mental health wise, that's what fucking works for me and that's what makes me feel good. But am I waking up at 7:30 and then starting work at like 9 o'clock and then working all day and then going to the gym and coming home and then working till like 10? Yeah. But do I fucking love what I do? Yeah. And you know what? There's that stupid fucking saying where it says, if you love what you do, you never work a day in your life. And I never thought that I would fucking feel that way, but goddamn, this doesn't feel like work. It just feels enjoyable to me, and it's so fucking rewarding, and it's just like, it's kind of like the coolest fucking thing in the entire world. And I just feel so grateful. I feel so fucking grateful. I feel so fucking grateful to help people that are just like me. Because it's really hard to exist in this world as someone who's neurodivergent, who is disabled, who's mentally ill, and like helping people on their journeys get closer to their goals is just like, it's cheesy as fuck, but like, dude, I was so fucking meant for this. Like, I don't really know what else to say. I just, I make no money off of social media, technically, and it's something that I spend 40 to 50 hours a week doing, but I wouldn't have been able to do online coaching in the way that I'm doing it if it weren't for social media. And I'm grateful for that every day because I just love this fucking job. I love having the ability to help people, and I like that I'm honest. This might sound narcissistic, I don't really give a shit, but like, through this job, I did not realize the kind of shit that other people were going through with online coaches and people just like not caring about them. And the reason why I'm selective with people is because I want to give them my all. I don't want ever people to feel like they're not getting their money's worth and they're not being answered. Like, my phone is constantly on Do Not Disturb. That being said, I fucking respond to all of my clients within the hour if it's not right away, because I'm on my phone a lot for work. But like, I just don't even know really what else to say other than like, it's very obvious that this world was not made for people who are neurodivergent. Girl, I don't know what happened. I'm like mid-editing and we finished off right here. But like, I just don't even know really what else to say other than like, it's very obvious that this world was not made for people who are neurodivergent. I don't know. Something happened. Cut out. All I wanted to say is like, I'm neurodivergent, I guess. Like, yeah, we know. But I'm finally getting to a point where I've found what I can do for work, and I'm genuinely happy. And I really fucking enjoy it. And I just love all my clients. They're fucking rad as fuck. Anyway, this video was all over the place, but if you want to like, share, comment, subscribe, do it. If you don't want to, then don't. I don't know what to tell you. I'm not your fucking mom. I'm not in charge of you, but if you hated this video, send it to someone that you hate. Make them suffer. Right? Okay, that's it, I guess. That was Daily Vlog 7, and YouTube done. Slay.